Hey, Matt here, epicrealestate.com. And in this video, you're going to learn 5 creative ways to use the word payments in seller finance deals so that you can buy more property using less money. Number 4 will probably end up being your favorite. So to begin, seller financing is a loan provided by the seller of a property to the buyer. This is no different than if you were going to get financing from a bank to buy a property. But instead of making payments to a bank, you make those payments to the seller. And when it comes to making payments to the seller, there are different types of payments that you can make. And as long as the seller agrees, anything goes. You just have to ask for it. Try something like this with a bank and you'll get a big giant palm to the face. Not to mention you'll need a good credit score and likely have to jump through a bunch of bank hoops before you get approved, if you get approved. When asking sellers to carry back the financing instead, you typically get to avoid all of the headaches that accompany working with a bank, and you're always approved. And when you start asking sellers for financing, you're going to be pretty surprised with the loan terms that they will agree to, of which when you get more say over the terms, you're going to build your cash flowing portfolio that much easier and faster. All right, let's dive in. First, there's the down payment. This is the amount of money that you give to the seller at the closing. And naturally, you'll want to always offer the seller as little as possible up front. But if the seller insists on more, especially more than you may have access to at the moment, you can offer to split up the down payment. Like some of it at closing and some more, say, in 3 months. And if necessary, you can do the rest in 6 or 12 months. If you really like the property, this will give you time to find the full down payment that the seller wants to put the deal together. And with that said, it's not uncommon to buy properties with 0 down. Number 2, deferred payment. Now this is a postponed payment, and you'll typically want to ask for this if the property needs some significant repairs. You can ask for a deferral of the monthly payments until the work is complete and a tenant is in place. Sometimes you may buy a property where there's a bad tenant in place and the seller doesn't want to deal with it before the sale closes. So you can ask for a deferral of the monthly payments until the tenant is out and a new one is in place. During the pandemic, I got many sellers to agree to deferred payments until the eviction moratorium ended. And that right there resulted in a year's worth of free cash flow on multiple properties that I purchased during COVID. The bottom line is, if there's a justifiable reason that's out of your control as to why you won't be making any money on the property the day you take ownership, ask for a deferral on the monthly payments. It can really help. And speaking of help, if you've never done this before, you're likely going to need some the first time or two. And it's always wise to get some help from someone who's been there and done that. So stay tuned here and click the subscribe button. I post creative stuff like this each and every week. Now, the third type of payment are interest-only payments. Now, this is when the monthly payments that you make to the seller only cover the interest of the loan, not the principal. And you would typically ask for this if either 1, the cash flow position is really tight, and so you need some extra spread between the rent and the mortgage. Or 2, sometimes if you're buying a property that you don't intend to keep very long or not long term, interest-only payments can make your carrying costs a little more manageable. Now, before I get to the last 2, I put some additional creative financing stuff in the description below for you. So just click the show more link and that's going to open up for you. Now, the 4th type of payment, principal only payments. Now, this is when your monthly payments are applied 100% to the principal of the seller's loan. And this is probably my favorite type of payment and likely to become yours too, as you're able to build equity really fast, of which in just 2 to 3, maybe 4 years, you're typically primed to refinance the property with all of that equity that you've built up. You can pull out a bunch of cash with 0 tax implications, and then you're ready to put it into the next property or go have some fun with it. One of my private clients, Corey, has done this exact thing more than 100 times, of which paid for his own custom house on a lake that he built and he lives in, a second house for his parents, and it wouldn't be complete if it didn't include a Lambo too. Now, the 5th one, balloon payments. This is typically a final payment, but not always final, that is much larger than any earlier payment made to the seller. And balloon payments, they come in really handy when you need a low monthly payment to cash flow your property. But say the seller doesn't want to wait 30 years to get paid. So you can request a low monthly payment as if it were a 30-year loan, but pay off the seller in say half the time with a balloon payment, or maybe in 10 years or even 5 years. I mean, if you really like the property, a 2 or 3 year balloon payment can be just what you need to put that deal together and buy yourself some time to go find more permanent financing. Now you know 5 creative ways to use the word payment when putting together a seller finance deal. And if you'd like to go deeper in learning how to find seller finance deals and how to present them to sellers so that they're more inclined to say yes, I put some links for you below in the description. Just click the Show More link and they're all yours. Pick and choose what you need right now. And before you go, what did you find most valuable? Let me know below. And who else do you know that may need to see this? When their name comes to mind, please share it with them. Oh, and if you're already subscribed, I went ahead and I pulled this video out special for you to watch next. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.